Good luck.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Game Addicts Podcast, episode 41. Trucking right along here. This is the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I am your host, Brando. Joining me today, of course, as always, this podcast player too, Mike.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. It has been a hot week.
Humid.
Very, very humid. In fact, more just sticky than hot, really.
Yes.
But, I mean, it has just been pretty hot. Did you just throw your wallet off?
I did.
You threw your wallet. Like, nobody needs to see this.
Nobody needs to see that.
So, guys, he might actually have the mail lady coming to deliver a package for a story that we're going to get to in just a little bit.
Yes.
We're not going to tell that right away because we're actually going to mess with our format. I know. Shocking. Why do it? We normally do pickups first, and I actually do have a couple. I'm not supposed to be buying anything. But
I have a few.
when the wife says, hey, you can spend X amount if I can also spend X amount, and it fits within our budget
Yeah.
when it's not supposed to, or when we're not supposed to be doing this, and I'm just like, I'm not supposed to, but she wants to, which means more than likely she's going to end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if it's for something that she really wants. So, yeah, I went and bought some stuff just today. Went right before the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about some headlines, some news that are kind of been going around, and then of course we're going to talk about your little happenings that happened. Just a few days ago over the weekend?
It was Saturday night.
Saturday. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the PS Vita. Now, we've been doing these retrospective episodes where we bring out our systems and our games to talk about it. This is almost kind of what it is, but not quite.
Yeah.
Because really, this is more like, you guys need to go buy this system now type of thing. So we're going to talk about what you can get.
Now's the time to buy.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be talking about all the different kinds of Vita stuff that you can get, and some of the. I brought like a big stack of games from my collection because I honestly should have just brought my entire collection at this point because I think I have like 5 more that are at home and that's it.
But I have some of those.
Yeah. So
I have a few.
we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to jump right into some news. First of all, and I told you this earlier, Walmart effed up.
Yeah, they did.
I guess they put up some of those Super Nintendo classic consoles up for pre-order, and people bought them, and now they're canceling them because Nintendo wasn't supposed to put them up yet.
And how many do you think have been sold?
I don't know, man. So you're saying how many people bought the pre-order and then are selling the pre-order? That's happening. So
Well, I'm saying how many people bought the pre-order.
And then sold it on
No. Bought the pre-order from someone else who pre-ordered.
Oh, okay. So it's like, so you're going even
somebody going the second hand.
So you're going even
their money's
deeper.
Gone.
Oh, yeah, they're gone and they're not insured. So it's like,
And the seller can just say, sucks for you.
yeah, sucks. Or if they're a good seller, hopefully they can say, look, since you already bought this from me, what I'll do is that as soon as they are available, I'm going to try and get you one. And then therefore, it's still not guaranteed, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
What are you doing?
I'm flipping it over.
Don't look at my games. Don't want you to look at them.
I want to look at them.
No. I put them like this so you couldn't look at them.
That's what he does.
Anyway. That's I don't know why, because Nintendo has put them up on or Amazon UK. They're up for pre-order over in Europe already.
Yeah, but not here.
But not here. So it's getting frustrating. Of course, last week we talked about the Genesis flashback system, and
because I have an alarm on mine that says, "Hey, this item is available for pre-order," and instantly.
Yeah. I need to do that, but at the same token, it's just like I've been I guess a really good recovering game collector addict here, where I've been doing really good about walking. I walked in the disc replay yesterday and didn't spend a dime.
But then you went back.
I did go back, but they also had a lot of stuff that I really wanted. We've mentioned before how hard it is to collect Sega Saturn stuff around here.
Yes.
And they had a Saturn, and they had an extra controller for the Saturn, and they also had quite a few need to get Saturn games, especially some like not terribly expensive,
Right.
like $30-$40 range for each almost. So they had quite a few things available. Some stuff in there was stuff that we talked about when we last talked about going through the Game Boy Advance box
Right.
had been put
Right.
out. It's still there. That Fantasy Star little Fantasy Star 1, 2, and 3 cart is still there, and that's something that's like, damn it, I shouldn't.
How much was it?
$8.
$8. Man, that ain't bad.
I know, that's why I'm kicking. They also had Earthworm Jim Advanced for $3.
Wow.
I know.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that in person for the Advance.
I know it existed, but I don't know if I've ever come across that. And then again, maybe I wasn't looking for it either. Maybe,
That's true.
Sometimes a game will pop out.
Well, once you've got majority of what you want, now you're just looking and now you're noticing those things. Because usually, like I know me, when I'm focused on looking at stuff, now when I go through the PlayStation, like I was focused on Legends of Dragoon. That's what I was focused on. And then I found it, and now I'm like, this is nice. Now I'm picking more, and that stuff's been there for a while.
Well, but then you also have, like, I watch a lot of videos online on YouTube, and it might bring to light something that I knew about, didn't care about, and it's like, oh, this is what it looks like. Okay, so then that puts it back here.
Yep.
And then when I do see it or something like that, it triggers my memory and like, that would be cool to get that. But I've been a good kid. So I don't know if I will get the SNES Classic. If one of us gets it, that's cool. I want it, and that's the problem. So I do want it, but should I get it?
It sucks is that, when is that coming out?
September 24th, right after my birthday, man.
Guess what? It's a couple days after Metroid comes out.
Yeah, that Metroid game, yeah. The one that's the 3DS one, right?
3DS one.
The remake of 2.
2, yep.
Yeah. So
The Return of Samus.
Samus
Returns.
Since we're on Nintendo, we're going to talk about the Switch, because I do plan on getting a Switch, which I've actually been seeing Switches.
Yeah, you told me that.
There were 4 at my local Walmart, 4 at the 26 Walmart up here, and then I just went into the Devil's Playground today, GameStop, and they had them. Dude said it's the first new shipment they've had in 4 months. So they're starting to come out. Hopefully they can try and get out there a little bit, and hopefully the people who are like trying to sell these for crazy amounts of money, hopefully that's kind of died down just a little bit. Now that it's been out for was it 6 months almost?
Something like that, yeah.
So it came out in March. So we're approaching the 6-month territory with September. Hopefully that big savage, let's try and get the aftermarket price up on these, goes down. Hopefully we can get a few more out in the market, and then we can get them, because I want to buy one near Christmas still.
I plan on hopefully buying mine from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
right, yeah.
Because we have somebody that's going over to Japan, and I'm hoping I'm going to research a little bit.
Please do, so that way we can figure out exactly if we can get it for a decent price over there.
Or if it's going to be the same, then we might as well just pick it up here.
Exactly.
Because he said that he bought a DS for $25 while they were still fairly new.
I tell you what, I hope.
Great.
Trust me, I hope. But I want to talk about the Switch sales numbers, because they got released just the other day. The Switch has now sold 4.7 million units since its release, and it has revealed part of their earning results for the last fiscal quarter, which saw Switch sell 1.97 million, almost 2 million. So you had the basically their fiscal report. The Switch came out right at the end, so that made their whole year look really good.
Right.
By selling it sold right about like 1 million or something, 1 million or 2.
I thought it was like 1.2 or something like that.
Well, if this is what it says, like with that fiscal, like this last one, which would be from April until like June or whatever, they've sold almost nearly 2 million in that time frame. So that was when Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had come out and everything. In terms of software, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 3.54 million units.
It's almost as many Switches that are on the market.
I know. That's
so
like a million under.
You're looking at over 70, no? almost 75% of the owners of the Switch own Mario Kart Deluxe.
Yeah, it's about 1.2 million units that aren't attached with a Mario Kart 8, which is almost as good as the Wii U attachment rate.
Yes.
Which is crazy. But then again, there aren't a terrible amount of games for Switch, but that is a re-release, which might inspire them to release a few other Wii U titles.
Which would be awesome.
Because the Wii U has such a low overall sales numbers that it just kind of like with the PS4 when they brought some of the like the Uncharted legacies and stuff like that, games that maybe Xbox gamers didn't play that now have a PS4. It's like, here, these were great. Here's The Last of Us.
Right.
This was awesome, and you missed this. But now here's it with a shinier coat of paint.
Yep.
And here we go. And now you're off to the races. ARMS, which is the new fighting game, has sold 1.18 million units in the 2 weeks between its release and June 18, which was the end of this quarter. It's released on June 18, and so it sold just like a fraction, a tiny hair, over 1 million in 2 weeks.
It's great.
That's not bad for being a brand new IP.
Yeah.
Then again, there's not a lot for the system yet. So anything released is being gobbled up right now for people who want to play this system.
It looks fun. I mean, eventually I'll pick it up, but it's just there's certain games that I would want for it. And
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild continues to sell well, with 1.16 million sales, bringing it up to 3.92 million units sold overall.
3.9?
3.92. 3.9. So then you have 83% of Switch owners also on Zelda.
Is that only on the Switch or is that total sales?
Only on the Switch.
That's amazing.
These are just Switch numbers. Then it goes on into 3DS.
Right.
3DS sold almost 1 million units this quarter and 5.85 million units of software. So,
well, Nintendo's going to be really happy with themselves right now, because this has been amazing. They've done a good job. They've made something fresh, something new, but now they are in competition. Like, I know that they say that we're not in competition.
They are, and they are and they aren't, because
they aren't.
Because the numbers are saying that if this trajectory continues, they're on a better track of selling more numbers faster than the Xbox brand has.
Yes.
So therefore, it puts them right in there with them without having complete 1-to-1 ratio of third-party games, because the Switch is underpowered compared to the other systems. So therefore, when you release a third-party game, they have to dumb it down a little bit for the Switch, just like the FIFA story that we talked about, where it's missing a few features or whatever, and then not all third-party developers are going to release for it. If the numbers of users are out there and they see attachment rate for games going this way, they will do it.
They will do it.
But just like with the Wii U, if it's not there, they're going to not bother with it, or they're going to quit.
Yeah.
So
I think this is going to be the revitalization of the third party and
I
Nintendo
hope so.
bond. Like, I'm going to see that bond strengthening again and being back to where it was in the Super Nintendo era, because that's where it was at. They really started losing with the 64, and then got to the Cube, and people were like,
It was there, but like a lot of you have to think about some of the really big titles ended up being like PS2 exclusive.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't even like, I don't remember it even really being a big deal about them saying this is an exclusive. It was just, well, this is where we're releasing it, because this is where the users are. This is where the gamers are. Then they like the sheer numbers of people who had a PS2 was like, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have, I don't know if Sony did partner up with Square for Kingdom Hearts and said don't release this anywhere else, or Kojima with Metal Gear, don't release this anywhere else, which actually wasn't true, because Metal Gear Solid 2 did go to Xbox, but since it didn't do miraculous numbers, they didn't bother with Snake Eater.
Right.
But GTA did end up going over to the Xbox and got a little facelift over there. So it's really, that's an interesting generation to look at, as far as Nintendo got some, they got into the Need for Speeds and your sports games on the GameCube, but the GameCube it came in like third place, I think, didn't it? Or was it second? I can't remember.
I'm going to say it was third.
I could look it up, but it's not really that big a deal.
I don't have my phone on me.
So
I lie. I do.
yeah, dude, I'm hoping too. I really hope that Nintendo really does well. Now, something that we've been trying to do every month here is when it comes time and the games are announced, to let you guys know whether you're gaming on PlayStation or Xbox and you have Gold or Plus, to go and redeem your free games, because that's free games. And I did find out something about Xbox One games with Gold. Maybe I'm just a noob and I didn't know this, but this is a bit of misinformation that I gave you guys. If you have Xbox One free games and you got them with Gold, you do not keep them.
Yes.
All 360 games you get to keep.
Right.
But if they're Xbox One games, you do not. Because when I was messing around and looking at games on my hard drive on my Xbox One, I decided to fire up a game that I got free on Xbox Gold, right?
They came in last. 22 million, 24 million, 153 million. Okay, so it goes 22 million for the Cube. Xbox is at 24 million. And PlayStation 2 crushing the competition. 153 million units sold.
Mic drop.
That's just a... Guess what, guys? If you add yours together and times it by 2... You're still not even in the ballpark.
That's crazy. I mean, and that would. Oh, also, I heard something, not to just distract from the story that we're going to talk about. Brazil didn't get the PS2 until 2009. They're kind of weird, like down there, how they do their gaming systems and stuff. Something I heard, and it was like $400.
Wow.
But like when they got the system, then they had access to like all of this big, huge library of games already.
Right out the gate.
They didn't have to wait for new games to come out.
That's not bad. It would suck.
Because then you want to buy them all, and you're just like...
But it keeps you in... Because we all know PlayStation 1 had the games. And so did PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But PS1, I mean, that system was phenomenal. And then if they would drop it that late and say, oh, by the way, here's however many games were out. I want to say there was at least 3 to 4, maybe 500. 2009 when the system dropped.
PS2 launched in 2000.
So, yeah, you're talking 400 or 500 games.
Easy. And then you have the entire library of the PS1.
God. It's a good system. It really is.
PS2 is the best system ever made. That's my opinion. Best system. Best home console system ever made. When you put it... it's not fair to include it with handhelds.
Right.
So, we're going to talk about Xbox games with Gold first, and what you get if you are an Xbox Gold subscriber. So you get Slime Rancher.
Ooh.
August 1st to the 31st, all month for the Xbox One. You get Trials Fusion.
Trials is a decent game.
Yeah, that is Xbox One. That is August 16th to September 15th. So, like, there's your middle of the month game. And then from only the first half of the month, Bayonetta, the first one.
Ooh.
Of course, that's a 360 backwards compatible. That is only for the first half of the month, August 1st to the 15th. And then the last half of the month, which is the 16th to the 30th. 30th or 31st. To the 16th to the 31st of August is Red Faction Armageddon. That is the other 360 backwards compatible.
So on the Xbox subject, I want to make a statement here. Just because, we keep up on Skyrim very much in this household. So, one of the biggest mods that's ever been released is coming out. It's already out. Bruma. It adds a massive size to the map. Only available on Xbox and PC. PlayStation will not allow it to be a mod.
And she doesn't play on PC, does she?
Nope. And we just bought a PS4. That's a story coming up.
Yeah.
We'll let you finish
There's
this.
a reason why you did. Yeah. However,
now we're like, But the thing is, like, if I'm going to say the Scorpio, because to me, that's what it...
Xbox One X.
Yeah, the X1 X. If it was out, today, we would have got it.
That. Well, here's the thing, and I'm just throwing it out there. All right, because I know the fandom and I know the craziness.
Yeah.
And I know the weight that this puts on you is pretty massive. Okay, so by all means, okay, so I'm just gonna tell you what if I was in your shoes and was told we have to get an Xbox, what I would do. Okay, because the Xbox One X comes out in November. Okay, and so you have plans for your PC for Cyber Monday.
See, if you might as well stop right there, because what will happen is that we'll just do it on the PC.
Hold on.
But yes.
Hold on. Stop. Stay with me. We have this little thing that we get at work about 4 weeks after this thing launches.
Yeah.
We have that.
Yeah.
We also have something at the beginning of the year the following time. So, but then you also have the possibility, depending on dire situation, that you may be able to trade up for this. As far as games, trying to whittle down the price, sell some stuff, collectibles, whatever you guys need to do. Because, like, I was talking with the guys at GameStop, because the dude played on PlayStation, and the PlayStation modding community, they're blocked by, you can't put anything in the game that isn't already there. I think it's the easy way to say it.
PlayStation is very, the real way to do it is PlayStation is very wary about non-Bethesda stamped stuff. That's the thing. It's like if Bethesda came through and said, this is our stamp, this works great, we approve it, then Sony would kind of loosen the grip. But since that grip is still so tight, that if they don't put the stamp on it, and Bethesda's already said they're not. So
from what I understand, adding files to the game file,
yes,
or altering them that aren't a part of the game,
right,
is something that PlayStation is very leery of due to hacks, due to this and that. They don't want, since the whole situation that knocked them down and knocked the online out for PlayStation for over a month.
Yes,
they are leery as shit, and I don't blame them.
Right.
However, Xbox is like, bring it. And so I have been playing a lot of mods on Fallout 4. Hilarious stuff. I've also just been running around and just playing the game. And also experiencing stuff for the first time that I didn't see the first time around. Which is awesome. Because in a way, it feels like a whole new experience.
Yeah, before I got Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization, I was going back through Fallout for like the fourth time.
So we're going to head over to PS Plus lineup for August. And of course, with the PS Plus, you get 2 games for PS4, 2 games for PS3, 2 games for the Vita, which we're talking about later on. So, for PS4, you get Just Cause 3.
It's a good game.
Yeah, that came out in December last year. It's a AAA title.
Yep.
Wreak Havoc. That's awesome because I've been wanting to try out Just Cause. I have Just Cause 2 for free on my Xbox One. It was released when I had gold as a Xbox 360 free game.
Right.
So now, I won't get to keep it if I lose my Plus or if I don't re-up, but I'll have Just Cause 3. Where is it? Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. That is the DLC for Black Flag.
Yes.
Where you played as the dude's Edward's first mate.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Those are your 2 PS4s. And then the rest of them here, PS3 has Super Motherlode and Snakeball. And Vita has Downwell, which is a cross-buy with PS4, and Level 22 for your Vita. So with Just Cause 3, that alone, I feel like makes PlayStation take this. Cause that is a huge level game. That's like almost a reminder of what PS Plus used to be back on the PS3.
Yes.
Where you would just, each month you would have this couple of like really big games that got released 6 months to almost like maybe less than a year ago. And it was like, holy crap, dude. Yes, I wanted to try that game. And then now you get to play it, just like with Sleeping Dogs, just like with Hitman Absolution, Saints Row the Third, Battlefield 4 or 3, whatever it was. I think it was 3. All these games that I got to try.
Right.
And buy the ones I really wanted.
Yeah. We
got one more PlayStation story. Firmware. 5.0 is going into beta. As I almost play a video of my kid talking about farting. Because I had it open.
Yeah.
So, the 5.0 firmware update is going into beta, and people are kind of leaking what's in this firmware update. So, what is in it, you say? Well, number one, and most importantly, the ability to change your PSN name.
Yes.
When everything was made and everything was done on the PS3, this wasn't included, and you have not been able to. So if you care about your trophies that much, and you have the name Harry Sackballs as your name, and now are getting made fun of it. Oh, see, there was a podcast. It was called PS I Love You XOXO.
Mm-hmm.
And one PlayStation podcast. It is no longer in existence. They quit doing episodes this year. Every episode, they had a segment of worst PlayStation ID name, and people would write in suggestions of some of the worst ones that they've seen. So there are some really funny ones that have come out of it. And some people would they would see them, or they would say, "This is my own," and they would always end it with, "Please, Shuhei Yoshida, please let us change our names."
Yes.
So it seems like it's finally coming, and they have finally delivered. The other big thing here, well, I guess we'll go to this one and then the other big one. But the increase in party chat.
Yes.
Doesn't really matter to me that much, but if it matters to you, that's awesome.
It doesn't say a size; it just says increase.
Yeah. It doesn't give an actual size in the article that I have. So what was the other one? Other than the big one, I thought there was one more. I don't see it, so I'm just gonna go to it. PS1 Classics coming to PS4.
Yeah.
Of course, PS1 Classics are already available if you own a PS3, PSP, PS Vita. So I'm hoping that if you own any of those, you'll just be able to download them.
Right.
PS1 Classics are great. Of course, they're not really going to look any better. They're just going to be the PS1 Classics that are already up, and I hope they just go click, select all, drag, and drop, and put them all over there.
That would be awesome.
Because there you go. I have quite a few PS1 Classics. Downloaded. I have quite a few on my Vita that we're going to talk about when we talk about the Vita here in a few. So that is a big deal. And what's awesome as well is that they do a lot of flash sales, and these games go on sale.
Yep.
And some of these games that they have on there, your Mega Man Legends games, are $30 to $70 respectively. Adventures of Trombone, I think, might be on there. That's like a $150 game, and you can get it for $10, or when it's on sale for like $3.
Yep.
So, my friend, we're going to talk about some pickups.
We're going to talk about my tragedy.
Yes, and because that's what we're going to lead with, because that's what led to some of your pickups.
So, we had that real bad lightning storm, and
which we didn't get.
We actually, the lightning strike was so loud. We assumed that it had to be within probably 100 feet of the house, because of how loud it was. It shook stuff off the wall. That's how loud it was. We assume I can't see any physical damage, but I think that it hit like a power pole or something fairly close. It hit something. It didn't shut our power down, but it did surge, which led to fry all of my internet stuff. So my modem router's fried, which Metronet is amazing, and they gave us another one. Came over and did it yesterday. That's great. PS4, not the Pro, just the original downstairs.
The one that you got on launch day.
Yeah, I got on launch day. Yeah, it's finally taking a poop. Sad. Very sad. My PC, my wife's PC, I built 2 years ago. Well, almost 2.5 when we moved here. It was about $1,500. I have a power supply. I'm going to fix it once this podcast ends, hopefully.
And hopefully it didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm hoping it didn't crash the motherboard or anything. But it is what it is. So I lost basically everything that was hardlined with my router is fried. Countless. We have a lot of the little USB adapters to plugins.
Mm-hmm.
Those are almost all of those are fried. I have like 3 or 4 that's left. All my surge protectors are shot. They work, but now they're useless because they're only good. The cheap ones are only good for one.
Yeah.
You get one surge. Blew up our vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
And then the TV, right?
The TV. So the TV works, but the 4K 60 frames per second slot on our one downstairs will not read HDMI cables on anything. I've tried 5 or 6 different items. It just doesn't work. But everything else works. So I still have 4K at 30 frames per second, but I don't have that 60 frame. It says that it is up to, I think the other ones, I don't see a difference in it. I think it still pushes that, but I think that was specifically like a high speed line.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's okay. But we were going to turn it into insurance until I started looking at the price and started writing down the prices. Our deductible is $1,000. Right now, I've spent less than $1,000 to fix it. So get everything back to normal almost, other than the PC, which that will be dived into much, much more later on. But so me and my wife went out and we went to find another PlayStation, PS4. Because she plays a lot online. She does a lot of her stuff. She needs it downstairs because that's our home. Basically, my PS4 upstairs is a PS4 Pro. It is for my gaming.
Yep.
But our PlayStation 4 downstairs, which is just the original, was basically our media center.
Right.
So that's fried.
Yeah.
So when we went in there, I told her, I said, so, you want to play Skyrim VR and stuff. So why don't we just go ahead and pay the extra $100? So we got a brand new PS4 Pro because it had no dust in it. I checked. I pulled it out, was flipping it around and looking at it, which it's here, which I really don't want to pick it up, but I'm going to. Came with an OG blue controller that doesn't have the light bar on top because all the PS4 Pros come with a controller that has the light bar on top.
All the new PS4s come out.
Yeah, the new PS4 Pros. Yeah.
Well, no.
And the Slims.
Yeah.
And the Slims.
And the Slims have it. Like that is the standard new controller now.
And this was one of the, because you can tell the wear on the back.
It's been
played.
You know what? I have my controllers, and I've played a lot on the PS4. I don't have that wear.
See, this guy must do what I have done because I
don't know what it is, dude. I guess I'm just too gentle with my controllers, which is a good thing.
I move my hands a lot when they're on the controller. Like if there's a scene, I'll sit and I'll rub the back. That's why mine are all rubbed in the back. Because if there's a cut scene, I'll do this. I'll hold it with right hand, and
I see. Yeah.
And I just kind of sit here and rub the back, rub that plate, and I'm just waiting and watching. I fidget. I gotta.
You need a spinner.
See, I can't use those. I don't know why, but anywho.
I've tried, and they really don't do much for me because I actually get more frustrated with them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like. My hand just doesn't want to go around it, and so I'm like,
yeah, I don't like it.
It's not comfortable to fidget with that.
So I bought it, and when I looked at it and inspected it, the guy told me, he goes, I don't know if they played it because when you flip it over, there's no wear. It literally looks like I took it right out of the box and then sold it at Disc Replay. That's what it looked like it happened. So we bought it. They gave us this OG controller. I kind of chuckled, and the guy's like, that's what they brought in. I'm like, okay.
I might still have some sticks.
Yeah, we might mod it to do some stick mods. But so when I was there, I've been looking for a multi-tap for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I've almost pulled the trigger on a few, but they're just so expensive that people don't know the value of them. Well, for some reason, they had 6 of them there.
Yeah.
And they had it for $2. Where everyone else was like $10, $15. Like, and I knew the price of what they were worth. So I was like, I'm not paying $15. So found it. I walked by it when we were looking at the PlayStation. I was like, I'm buying that. I don't really care. At $2, I'm buying it. So I bought it. Multi-tap in good condition. Only a scuff on the top. Other than that, good condition.
As long as it works.
I need another controller to make sure that it works because I only have 2 good controllers. And then I was walking by because I wasn't there to hunt. We were there because we knew what we needed. And I was like, I don't really want to hunt. But as I walked by stuff, that hunter's eye catches.
Whoa.
So our GameCube,
They move stuff around too.
yeah, our GameCube area has basically had the same games in it since they moved to that location.
Almost. They've had a lot more, and then now it's so small they moved it to the end of the aisle, and they put more Wii U stuff out.
Yeah. So I walk by, and I just kind of glance down, and I keep walking, and I stop. I take 2 steps back, reach down to pick it up. Don't even look at it. I just reached down and picked it up. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. This is the Game Boy Advance port to the GameCube.
Well, no, that's the original.
No, this is a port.
No, it isn't. That's how you do multiplayer.
Oh.
That is the original Crystal Chronicles. And you do multiplayer by linking up for Game Boy Advance.
Huh.
It's weird.
Yeah. I thought it was original because it has dual screens.
Mm-mm. Well, because
this has a dual screen.
That has like your menu stuff on it.
That's
This
right.
is like
your battle scene.
Yep.
So I got that, which is neat. And I saw Resident Evil 3 Nemesis with the Dino Crisis demo. I opened it up because Disc Replay never takes the demos out because it's a demo. They don't care.
Yeah.
It was in there. That's the main reason why I bought it. Because
Hell
the
yeah.
demo's there. I love the game, but the demo's where it's at.
I love Nemesis. I think Nemesis is great.
It's a great game.
I like the whole make your own ammo system.
Yes. Yes.
Like once you dive into it, it's pretty cool.
Once you know what you're doing. So those are my pickups, excluding Cloud, which I will be getting Player 2 if I can find him for a non-$80 or $45 on eBay crap.
Yeah, I bought one too, and for the of course we're talking about Amiibos.
Amiibos, yes.
The Cloud Amiibo. Of course, this got released just last week.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, for the Smash Brothers. Cloud was DLC, I want to say, for Smash Brothers.
Yes.
And
so a fun fact. Read the back of that. Where does it say that it's for the Switch?
I don't see it anywhere.
Does it say that it's compatible with the Switch? Only says Wii U, new Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo 3DS NFC reader and writer.
Well, I mean, I think that's because the Cloud Amiibo is not compatible with any other game right now other than Smash Brothers. And so Smash Brothers is only on the 3DS and the Wii U currently.
Right.
They have not confirmed any sort of plans to port this version of Smash Brothers.
Well, there it
Is
is.
the mill lady here?
I think she's here.
The doggy's barking. There are no plans currently to port that over. There might be later.
I believe that they
think
might
that-
not.
I think it would be in their best interest too. Number one, it's a relatively popular version of the game, and you have all the Amiibo characters.
You know what I want to do right now?
Huh.
I want to look and see
It
if
actually is.
on my Switch, on my Zelda, if it says for the Switch, just to see.
Just to see.
I will pull out a newer one. Yes.
It does. In fact, it says it right on the front cover.
Right on the front, yeah.
Because it has that new Nintendo.
Right on the front cover.
Yeah, because the new Nintendo logo.
Yeah.
Is the red to match with.
So this is Link Rider, and if you look at the difference, if you can see and you can hear, there's a red stripe on the right side, signifying that it is for the Switch, and on the back it says Switch, Wii U, new 3DS, and the Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Cloud is
not compatible
with any Switch game.
Which I'm assuming if anything happens like that, it will state, hey, this is available. You know, you can now use your Amiibo, your Cloud Amiibo, and your Smash Amiibos on the Switch. Assume.
I keep yawning, man. That's what I hate about doing this show after working, and we've been working so much lately.
Well, next one, we'll have to do it on a weekend.
We will.
Because I will be on second shift.
We will. We're going to have to figure out a time for that.
Okay, so those are my pickups.
I have a couple pickups too, other than this, and they are in the Vita games. So I'm actually just going to wait to talk about them and tell you what they are then. So we're going to talk about the Vita and sort of a pseudo retrospective style, but not episode dedicated. So the PS Vita is the second generation PlayStation Portable. And, this is the successor to the PSP. So it was originally called. It had like NGP, Next Generation Portable. Sony NGP. And then, of course, what we ended up getting was the PS Vita. And, of course, I have the original model.
And I have the new model.
The slim model.
The slim model.
And I just took mine out of the case. I don't know how much you can see this, but it is indeed on.
I got to unhook mine from
your little battery thing?
Mine, which is like one of the greatest things they ever did.
I just ended up getting this little this Nerf. I love the way it just. I actually like the way the Nerf one feels in my hand.
I love the way this one feels. This one feels more like a controller, and plus it has that extra battery bank in it, so that makes it better. But look at the size difference.
Oh, I know.
I mean, we're talking almost 40% smaller.
Thinner, yeah. It's very similar to the size difference with the original PSP in the 2000s.
It just got slimmer.
And I mean, really, so the differences also are not just cosmetic either, because the original PSP has a OLED screen in it.
Yes.
And so it has mine has a little bit better of a quality screen than yours, and because the second generation only has LCD. Because they were trying to make it a little bit cheaper, more affordable. Of course, that's the objective with a slim.
Right.
And of course, this is...
Which, in my opinion, the OLED screen is a clearer screen, but you don't really notice it. I don't. So...
I'm turning my volume down in case I turn it on. So that way, because I have the background music for the 20th anniversary.
Right.
And you can't turn the music off like you can in the PS4.
Yeah.
It just plays. Now, some of the buttons are also different. Your start and select button are more rounder. Mine are more oval. Same with the PS button.
Right.
The other buttons are exactly the same. And
the sticks are the same.
Yep. Then you have your shoulder buttons, which are pretty much the same. And, of course, this one also introduced a back touchpad because also the front is touchscreen.
Yes.
So... also, this was the first. The original PSP had discs. It had UMDs, which was a proprietary Sony media that was created, and it's basically a mini disc. But because it's a portable game system, it's housed in like a little. It's almost kind of like an optical version of like a floppy disk or something like that.
Right.
Where it has like the little reed thing in there, and that housing protects it from if it gets jostled around or anything like that. They didn't go with that with this one. In fact, they went with little game cards right up here on the top. You fold this up. I'm not sure where they go in on yours. If it's
they go in on the top. This one, the case that I have, is the Nyko battery power grip, and
it doesn't let you.
The way that this works is that the way that the buttons are on the top.
Yeah.
I have to take it off to switch a game, which most people that kind of whatever, but. It bothers me. I don't like it, but mine is basically the same.
Like what's also in there? Oh, is that the only thing that's up there?
Yeah. Well, I have the volume and power button.
It's also like an access screw too.
Yeah.
Yours to get inside.
What else you got up in yours?
Over here, I have. This is like a connector, I think, to the computer.
Is it USB?
No, it's something else. I don't know what it's a connector for. It doesn't list it.
Huh. I don't know.
But
I don't have that.
But these are the little game cards. They are tiny. They're very similar to what Nintendo went with the DS. They're Sony proprietary, so each new one, they're not just SD cards. They're very careful not to do that because it'd be very easy to pirate games.
Which, here soon, I believe, I hope, it becomes the point where...
Well, because here on the bottom of mine, that's where you have your memory card. And that memory card, I think in here I have a 16. Yes, yeah. I have a 16 gigabyte.
And that
card.
wasn't cheap. They are not cheap.
I got this with the system, and I can't remember what we paid for it.
It's not cheap.
But we have 2 cards now because I got an 8 gigabyte card with another one.
Mine's kind of a pain to get out here.
Yeah, it does, isn't it? Come on, you can do it.
Well, I don't. I got it wrapped around. I got my hand wrapped around the mic stand.
Come on, you can get it. Oh,
I dropped it.
you
Where'd it go?
It's on the floor.
Don't step. Yeah.
It fell on the floor.
Where did it go?
I don't know.
It's by you.
Oh, it's by me.
I found it. This looks a little awkward.
It does.
So mine's an 8 gig.
So these memory cards are also Sony proprietary memory cards, which is notorious for also overpricing because Sony overprices the crap out of it because they know you need this.
Yep.
And if they would have gone with just a mini SD card or micro SD card, just like the freaking 3DS,
yep.
I think the PSP would be a little bit more popular.
I agree, but they wanted to avoid the hacking because the PSP, as those that know the PSP well, that system, you did not purchase that system because it had UMDs. You purchased that system to hack it to play every system up to that generation. A lot of people did. And I love it. I love the fact that about the PSP, but the Vita is good. It is a great system, by far.
So the Vita was released in Japan December 17th, 2011, and then it was released in North America and Europe and other worldwide regions on February 22nd, 2012. And if you remember, I got one of these the year that Jay moved into his house.
Right.
Because, so literally, was it that spring we got one? That is crazy to think that.
Yeah.
No.
No, it was after that.
No, it was the year after that because in 2012, I love how I'm using this. 2012, we played Mass Effect Online a lot, and Jay was still in the apartment. So then the following spring, as we helped him move, and it was like, it was just starting to get to a point where it was like April or something like that. So April of 13 is when I got mine. And then it, of course, competed with the 3DS and everything. Let's go over some specs because we talked about the, like the screen and everything on mine and yours. It has a quad-core ARM Cortex A9 MP core. It has 512 megabytes of RAM, 128 megabytes of VRAM. Storage, 1 gigabyte flash memory, which is on your model only. Mine has no internal storage memory.
Right.
So yours gets a gig. Yay. Of course, mine has a 5-inch 16:9 OLED screen. That's for the 1000. LCD, same dimensions. For the 2000, multi-touch capacitive touchscreen, approximately 17 million colors. 960 by 544. QHD at 220 PPI. I'm talking in Spanish to me almost.
Yeah,
in some of this.
I mean, I know it, but it's just this is stuff that nobody really cares about.
This also, of course, we touched, has a touchscreen on front, has a rear touchpad. It also has 6-axis motion.
Yes.
Just like the PS3 and 4 controllers.
Right.
Of course, it has D-pad. It has 2 sticks. PSP only had 1 slider stick. It, of course, has the traditional PlayStation buttons. And then it has a front and back camera. Not very good cameras.
Well, you know what?
They're 0.3 megapixels.
But they're still good for what you use them for. Like my wife uses it to Skype her best friend, so it works perfectly because it's mobile.
Yeah. Battery life. Let's talk about battery. So for mine, the 1000, you will get 3 to 5 hours for games, 5 hours for video, 9 hours for music. Play music on this damn thing. This thing's so hulking.
Yeah.
On yours, you get 4 to 6 for games, 7 for video, 12 hours. You get a whopping 12 hours of music on that thing. Congratulations.
Woohoo!
Of course, you can log into the PlayStation Network, which we're going to talk about, because this is backwards compatible with PSP and PS1 games.
Yes.
Only digital versions that are on the store.
Right.
Because obviously there's no optical drive in this.
So that kicks out one specific game.
2.
Well, one that's major.
2 that are major.
What's the second major? You know the first one.
Birth by Sleep is the second major for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about I'm actually going to log in, and we're going to look at on the store. Well, no, I can't because I'm not on your. I can't.
Give it to me and I'll get you on there. Here, I don't want to say that over.
Just go to the settings, which I have my settings on the front page, top.
Okay, I'll get it. You just talk. I know what it is.
You don't know where it's at, you idiot.
I'll find it.
So also, along with the Vita, we also have something else that was released as like sort of. And now, when this came out, I was hyped, and it ended up falling flat big time. And that is what we have here is the PlayStation TV, and this is basically a Vita with no screen or buttons or anything.
Right.
And all the capacity to play Vita games, it's in this little box. And I got this big. I actually still have my box, which is kind of cool. I started keeping my boxes, and it came with the Lego Movie video game, digital version, woot. And it came with a brand new DualShock 3. You can use DualShock 4 for this as well. It also includes an 8 gigabyte memory card, and you can hook this up to your TV, and you can play Vita games on your TV.
Right.
Some, not most. Some games are locked out because they have too much.
You're on.
Thank you.
I gotta do that to mine too. Since I restarted everything.
Because of the touch, it has a lot of touch. If it has too much touch, it won't. They blocked it.
Right.
But for the TV, I don't know how the camera's picking it up. It's like it'll sit like this, and then all these cables back here easily drag it around.
Right.
It doesn't weigh anything. The games go over here, like on the side of the console. Oh, you have background music too.
I do have background music.
And then in the back you have your HDMI. You have your Ethernet. Look how big.
It's as big as the box.
I know.
It's literally as big as the box.
You have your power supply, little dinky power supply over here, HDMI, USB, and then your Ethernet, and then of course your memory card goes in right back here. I have
right.
That came with it. So, what is this good for? Like, well, number one, Vita's home to a lot of RPGs.
Yes.
So, number one, this is great to get. Now, for that, because you can play a lot of games on your TV. Some of them, as I said before, that you can't. But you can also stream your PS4 to this.
Yes.
Because the Vita, both behind yours and the TV, can get a signal sent from the PS4 to this, and you can stream your PS4 gameplay to this from another room. And I really wish they would have sold that a little bit better, because they really didn't market it like this. I bought this. I'm trying to remember how much I paid for it.
$130.
No, way less. That's why I bought it.
Then you had to do $99.99.
Nope, it was less than that.
Can be too much less than that.
No, I want to say it was $60. This was on sale at GameStop with the controller and the game and the memory card for $60, $70. And I jumped on it. I was like, now's the time. And then of course I found another box that came with this plus the it was a trilogy of. He was a Jack and Daxter trilogy.
Same price?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I know. I was pissed. Let's see if there's anything in here. I don't know. Sometimes I keep stuff in here. I don't remember. Sometimes I keep like receipts or something.
Right. Yeah.
Nope. I'm not bugging with it. I can't get it out. Not today, Junior.
Today. Not today.
So the PS TV, I played through all of Persona, nearly all of Persona on the PS TV over Christmas shutdown. And great game. Of course, we're going to talk about games here in a second.
Yes.
Of course, the Vita is an awesome handheld to buy. Number one, it's starting to fade away. You're not going to find hardly any games in Walmarts.
Also, before you continue, to interject.
You interjected.
I did.
You interrupted my thought.
I did. Nowadays, you're seeing a lot of the PS4 games on this.
Mm-hmm.
So they're starting to port them over to the Vita. Now, before I lose my train of thought, a game I would really like to have on here is way more expensive on the Vita than it is on PS4. Hollow Realization.
There you go.
$60.
Ouch. I did see that Disc Replay had Lost Song, but they didn't have Hollow Realization.
Because if it would have, you would have told me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would have bought it.
Yeah, you'd have been there. Now, quick note, please. I want to mention this. The PS TV has one folly on it.
One folly?
Netflix.
Yes.
Why is that a big deal? When everything else plays Netflix now, it's on your Vita, but you can't.
Right.
It makes no freaking sense. It was blocked. I don't get it. Now, the Vita, of course, we said it has a library of the online digital PSP and PS1 Classics, but the actual library of games to the Vita are actually really good too. And I'm going to go over some of mine. I'll move Cloud over here.
Yeah, you go through yours. I go through mine. Well, because we have a lot of the same games, so there's no point in me pulling them out.
First up, I said this is an RPG machine, man. This is a great. This game system. I can't talk. This game system is very well known for Japanesey stuff, and Ys Memories of Silseta. I talked about this probably another episode where we talked about something.
When you bought the other.
Oh, when we bought the other ones.
When you bought the other ones.
Because this was the first one I got with the collector's box.
Yes.
And I actually did crack this open and start playing this, and it's really fun. It is Japanesey as crap. This game is actually my wife's, but I grabbed it. This is Tearaway. This is from the creators of Little Big Planet, and this is actually now on the PS4.
Yes.
And then I want to say they made a sequel for the PS4 as well.
I don't know about that.
I think they did.
They might have.
Or either that, or they were thinking about it. This game is very touch heavy.
Right.
Which of course disqualifies it. For the Vita, however, this is starting to be hacked. Or for the TV, I meant, for the PS TV.
Right.
I also have to sneeze too.
Just do it.
Okay, I know. So Tearaway, I haven't played too much of it. This is by Media Molecule, and I heard it's pretty short. But it's also like one of those quirky games, just like Little Big Planet.
Yes.
Quirky games, and like one of the ways that you move your dude around is by using the rear touchpad, and you poke, and everything in the game, all the graphics and everything, all the levels, and even your dude are made of paper.
Right.
And so when you poke your finger, you look at it, your fingers poke through the paper.
Yeah.
So it really, really different game. Really different game. But this is one of my wife's favorites, Rayman Origins. We also have Legends. That's also on the system, but she could not wait to get the physical copy. She screwed me over. She bought it digitally on here.
But now you have a...
I don't have... No, she bought Legends. This is Origins. We bought this first.
Right.
She bought Legends on launch date and bought it digitally. Didn't tell me because I was going to get it for her after work. We were on second shift. I was going to go and get it for her. And she told me, don't bother going. I bought it digitally. I couldn't wait. I'm like, are you kidding me? So we actually end up having that Legends on physical form on the Wii U.
Right.
Which is originally what it was originally intended for. The Wii U was it was exclusive. This really helped bring back platformers, I feel. Rayman Origins and Legends, that big awesome 2D side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah, right.
Like Mario's still doing it, sure, but the new Rayman games have been really popular for that. And also, I really don't think that they're that expensive.
One of the best games for the system.
Absolutely. Persona 4 Golden, this is the remake port of Persona 4, which was originally on the PlayStation.
Right.
PlayStation 2, my bad. and they came out in 2008 for that system. It came out on here pretty close to launch. It wasn't a launch game, but it came out maybe like that same year or roundabout. And holy crap, this game impressed the crap out of me. It made me fall in love with the series, which I never thought I would. I thought this game was too Japanese for me.
It's definitely really Japanese, but the weird thing about this game, which we've discussed it before on all Persona games, is you go to school. You have a life outside of other dimension.
It's this weird mix of like Final Fantasy and like dating simulator in a way, or like life simulator.
Life simulator.
And it's very quirky and fun. I had so much fun playing through this game, even though it took me longer than what I thought. I'm still playing 5. I'm going to go back to 5. I swear I'm going to go back to it, just like I swore I was going to go back to this, and I finally did, you know. This game is a must. I think it's like $20 brand new. I saw a copy of this at GameStop.
Right.
So, by all means, if you're going to think about getting a Vita, and you're like, I don't know what to get Persona 4 Golden.
Or go to your local Disc Replay and get it for 10.
If they have it.
If they have it.
Ours did not.
Definitely look there first.
Gravity Rush. This was maybe a launch title for the system. This was another really cool platformer, different kind of platformer. Like, you know, you're all like tilting and you're like running along walls and jumping across stuff. This has since come to in a remaster to the PlayStation 4,
right,
and the sequels on the PlayStation 4.
Hello.
You got the phone calls.
I did. From a telemarketer, because it was no number I never seen.
Up next, I've talked about this before on our Final Fantasy retrospective, which, by the way, is celebrating its 30th year anniversary this year.
Yes.
Which I did not even think about, and I'm like, we should have waited to do the retrospective. And now I'm thinking about maybe we should redo it in a way, because we lost film and everything.
We could.
Because I kind of think like we could, and maybe do it different. But maybe doing it so soon is not such a good idea. I don't know. I'm torn on the idea. Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2. I wanted this on Vita because I like my RPGs portable.
Yes.
Number one, I like the ability to not drive. My wife is very adamant about driving. She gets uncomfortable when other people drive. She has very high anxiety.
Yes.
So if she's driving, she's good. If she's not, she's very much a passenger seat driver or a backseat driver.
Yeah.
Where she's like questioning everything you do, slow down, do this, and I'm just like, shut up. But it is how she is. She's more comfortable driving, and I'm more than okay.
See, I can't do that. I can't. I have difficulty playing. Looking at the screen.
Do you get motion sickness?
I have bad motion sickness.
I zone out, and especially with long trips over to Illinois to see family. I bought this the day before we were going to go see family.
And guess what you did?
Oh yeah, I played the crap out of it. Final Fantasy X-2 does not come on the game. Disc or card, the game card. It doesn't come on there. This is cross-play platform. It says with PS3. I'm pretty sure it is for PS4 as well. And it has to be.
It sure
where you can transfer your save over.
Yes.
So that way you can do just like you would be able to do the PSP era, where you could just either plug it in and go, transfer save over, play on TV. Of course, you can also play this on the TV with the PlayStation TV.
Right.
But the 10.2, you're gonna have to download it, and it's a 3.5 gigabyte download for that. I was disappointed because I didn't notice that until I already had the game in my hand. But really, 10 is the one I like out of that more anyway.
Like I said, I always get to the same point in the game.
Blitzball.
Yep.
Which is a shame because that game's freaking.
Which really pisses me off that Final Fantasy 14 Online decided to bring it back. I've stayed away from it because I don't want to get into that. I would never do anything again.
I'm sorry. And not only that, but you'd have to get back into paying them a subscription just to play Blitzball.
I know. But it's almost worth it. I just want to try it. I want to see how it is.
This is a different kind of game. It's called Soul Sacrifice.
Which I am that one.
This is a exclusive of Sony. This is a pretty badass little game.
It's pretty wild. I tell you what, when I was having difficulty with it because it's just so different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty neat.
I picked this up. I want to say this is a game that I got from Mackenzie. She sold me like just a stack of some games. In fact, like the next 3 are all games I got from her. I also got Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
And maybe Freedom Wars from her. She
Yeah.
just gave me a whole stack of them, and I'm just like, because I told her I only wanted 1 game or 2 games, and like I'll buy those 2 from you for $20, and she bought me the whole stack. I'm like, no. I'm like, I only want the 2. I only brought you $20. I'm only buying the 2. She goes, no, it's fine, take it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
She goes, no, it's cool. You're always really cool to me, so take this. I'm like, okay.
You pulled my leg.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obvious that I wasn't going to be able to get out of it. So, you know, some of them didn't have the original boxes or anything like that.
Right.
So I went online. I went on to Amazon and ordered some replacement blue boxes, that's actually upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well. And then I printed labels. This is on my old printer, so they actually look better now.
Right.
And I have a little a paper cutter.
Right.
And so, for one of your games, I've offered to do that and give you one of my cases.
Yes. Mod Nation Racers.
Which talk about that.
Road trips.
You go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, okay.
We'll just switch back and forth here.
So this is like upside down.
It's upside down.
Wait a minute. Yep. It's upside down. You can't tell what's in my system.
Ease was in mine because that's the last game I played on my system.
Mine's Freedom Wars, I believe. Should be. So, Mod Nation Racers. Road Trip.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun game. This is like Mario Kart style, but you can upgrade and work on your cars. It's a very unique game.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's fun. It's not one of those games like I would tell you to rush out and get, but it is a fun. I think it'd be funner if you had it on PS Vita and we would play together. That would make it cool.
I might. I'm not saying I won't get it, but it's never been on my radar, which is funny because you said that I recommended it to you.
Right, but you had it on. I only paid $4 for this. So like $4.
Yeah, don't be upset about it. I mean,
Right.
I really recommend the PS3 version because that's the one that I played. I played that. I actually played that at Nate's house, and we were supposed to have band practice, but I guess his dad wasn't feeling all that great, so we only played practice for like an hour.
Right.
And I ended up just staying and playing my Nation Racers with him and Tony and then Tony's girlfriend, and we did like 4-way split screen,
Right.
Snacked on junk food, and it was a callback to like 10 years prior, where you would just get together at people's houses and play rather than just play online.
So since you mentioned this, I thought it'd be nice to bring it up.
Yeah.
Freedom Wars. This is a very Japanesey game.
Yes.
Very.
Yes. That's a very cool game, though.
It is a very unique and fun game. It's very action-packed. And one of the cool things about it, basically it's like Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to Monster Hunter, but it adds different elements. Like you have a grapple that you can pull the enemy down in each direction so that your other companions can do more damage. It basically is a way to expose them, and you can stun them that way. But it's a very fun game. I played a lot of it until I got other games that I was actually waiting for.
Right.
But it's a great game. If you get a chance, pick it up. I think I $10. You good? You want your next one?
No, by all means, you go ahead through yours, and then we'll.
So
I like how you're making sure that this.
I always do. This is a very interesting game.
It's different.
It is different, but it is fun. This is Child of Light.
It's one of the Xbox One free games that I wanted to try playing the other day, and I couldn't.
Right. It is unique. It's like a Metroid meets Final Fantasy.
Right.
So it's a side scroller, and you
kind of like a
traverse
platformer
through this platforming side scroller like Metroid. But when you encounter an enemy, it goes into a
battle screen,
Final Fantasy style turn base. I loved it. Yet again, stuff came out. You know how it is. You get a lot of stuff all at once. You want to play all of it. It got put on the back burner. It will be picked back up. But it is a really neat game. I really enjoyed playing it. What I did.
I want to play on the Vita. That's where I want it.
It's the best place in my opinion. It really is.
Released by Ubisoft too.
Yes, I believe that it is touch.
Yes, it does
And
have touch capabilities. Yeah.
That's how you move around.
That, and then I want to say like the little firefly or.
Yeah, the firefly. You can actually fly in the game eventually, but then another game. Since I'll just finish up what I got here.
Yeah.
Sword Art Online, Lost Song. So.
That was the one. That's the first Sword Art game that you played, right?
Yes, and I'm not too fond of the flying element in this. It's a good game.
So is that a sequel to the one that you're playing now?
Negative.
Negative.
I believe the Hollow Realization is its own thing. This is kind of its own game, but the Hollow Realization pulls in everything prior in the whole universe of Sword Art. So like characters that you've met in SAO and ALO, which are all the MMO worlds, and through the games it goes through and talks about these people you meet. They're in your party. You can use them in your party to fight. But it's a cool game, but this one only has a handful of monster algorithms.
I see.
So when you fight a monster, it looks completely different than anything else.
But
it still fights the same. That was one of the things that they said was the negative part of this. It was a great game, but when you fought the same monster algorithm over and over and over again, it was just dull. Hollow Realization definitely fixed that because there's a lot of times where you don't even see the attacks coming, but in this one they literally like wind up the attack and you're just kind of like sides, and you can fly, so you can literally just jump up, fly up above wherever they're coming, wait for the attack, and then drop straight down for a large attack. But it's still a decent game. It was just not what I was looking for. The flying element, I like the games with that flying element, like Hollow Realization, because it brings back the core of Sword Art. Sword Art is very sword skill heavy, where you're fighting toe to toe and blah blah blah. It's a great game, but yeah, Lost Song it's a decent game. I mean, I wouldn't say rush out and pick it up like I did, expecting greatness and being very disappointed. But those are mine that I brought today.
Okay, finishing up mine, I have Killzone Mercenary. This is a must-have game.
Yes.
This is a first-person shooter on the Vita, and it's the only proper, well-done first-person shooter.
I believe it says on the front, best Vita game.
For 2013.
2013, yep.
Of course, this is another one that I got from the Mackenzie gift, and no case. It was in a black case. So I printed off. She went to GameStop. I think she bought the system, because she wanted to know if I wanted to buy the system from her, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, no.
She's like, well, I got all these games, and I'm like, I want like Killzone and one more. And she goes, well, okay, how much? And I looked up how much each one went. I'm like, all right, so for both of them, and this is back then, for both of them, like, you can get them for 32, something like that. I'm like, for a bundle, I'm like, number one, if you're offering to sell them to me, I'm like, I don't want to pay you that much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a deal, right?
Yeah, everybody is. So
I said, number one, I'll shoot you an offer. If you want more for it, by all means, say it.
Yeah.
We'll try and meet in the middle somewhere, right? And so I said, easiest one I could throw out there, $20 bill. She said, fine, okay. I'm like, okay, are you sure? She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm more than fine paying that. She goes, I think that's less than what I paid, but I'm just ready to. She goes, I thought I would like it. She goes, it's cool, but she literally bought it on like over the weekend and was selling stuff on like Wednesday. And she was worried that Best Buy wouldn't take it back because she had redeemed the free game, because she got it with Borderlands 2, or I think she got that bundle.
Yes, she did.
And so, yeah, they ended up taking it back. So she got all her money back for that. So then I don't really think that she cared about like getting all the money back for the games, which is why she gave me the whole stack.
Yeah.
But this game, holy crap! I put this in, and this game wowed the crap out of me about how good it was on the system because there was a Call of Duty game, and it's not very well reviewed, and it was like, wow, you could actually do really good console quality first person shooter on this.
Right.
And I'm not even a first person shooter guy, but this plays really well.
Huh.
So if you can find this, go get it. If you're a first person shooter fan, and you can have a first person shooter portable.
This next game
This
is a mandatory game to own, in my opinion, for the Vita.
They brought console experience, first person shooter, to the Vita. They brought console experience, Uncharted, to the Vita.
Yes.
Holy crap. I actually got to play this before I owned it because I got it when I first subscribed to Plus because they had the instant game collection. They had your monthly free games, and then for a while they had the games that you would get just for joining up for Plus.
Right.
And this was one of them. And because they were trying to sell Vitas at the time. And so I played it. I loved it. Never quite finished it. I need to go back and finish it. This was not included in the Nathan Drake collection on PS4.
No.
There is some touch elements here, and I don't remember where in the timeline. I think it's before the first game that the timeline for this game takes place. This game is freaking amazing. It literally is the console PS3 Uncharted on Vita.
Right.
And they added some touch elements, like I said, and one of the things they added is, okay, so your dude's hopping along, and you're climbing. You know, just like you're doing the Uncharted platforming, right? Well, now, because, you know, the way they do the platforming is that like when you're climbing rocks or climbing ledges, you can kind of see where you can go.
Right.
Because they have that kind of highlight, just like in the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
The Tomb Raider took that.
You get that little white line.
White line, or they stick out more.
That one's like gray. Or yours is gold. I think that in that one it looks gold.
Well, on this one, what you can do is you can actually touch Drake, and you can drag along where he can climb, and you can drag it, and then he'll do it. So you don't have to keep pressing the buttons.
Right.
I thought that was so cool. And then there was also, I think one of the reload options is like a button press on the screen, which is different.
Right.
Unfortunately, this game is not compatible with the TV.
Because of the touch element.
Probably, but you, as I said, this thing has been hacked, and you can unlock the blocked games.
Right.
And so I've heard that this game is completely playable on the TV. But because they added so much stuff, there's also a rear I forgot that there's a rear camera element where you have to take pictures and stuff. And then you have to use the touch pad on the back,
right,
to rotate objects, and use the touch on the front.
I like how distinguished your touch is compared to mine. Like mine's just a very small section because it's got the grips here.
Yeah. Yep. But then you like rotate stuff with the back touchpad, and then you wipe it off on the front.
Which is amazing.
And there's actually a section where he uses charcoal pen or a charcoal pencil, like over like a ruin for like to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then you put a piece of paper over it.
Yeah, you scratch it on.
Scratches it over it, which they actually brought that as a little wink and nod. That's in Uncharted 4. Uncharted Golden Abyss is probably the number one reason to buy one of these. Or if you're going to buy one, get this game.
Yes. Still fairly pricey used.
Is it?
$24.
$24? Dang.
Still hasn't gone down. It may have gone down now, but the last time I've seen it.
I'm going to look that up just to make sure because I want to say it was a little bit.
Checking a game eye?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm not creating a restore point.
Why?
Because I didn't see that on my screen.
Yeah, that wasn't on my screen.
Uncharted Golden Abyss. As of right now, complete box 15. As far as game eye goes.
So it's probably that now, but the last time I saw one.
Was it that?
I haven't seen Uncharted. Well, I've seen it, but not with the actual case.
I want to say the actual case is there now, but it may not be.
Yeah.
The last three I have are my pickups. Because I could have bought any number of games at Discrete Play today, but I actually, you know what? wanted to buy these because
good pickup.
we were talking about Vita.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to buy these games for a long time. I had a choice. There was games up there in the cabinet. There was like Metal Gear Solid on Game Boy Color, $20. I want that.
Right.
But do I want it because I want to play it?
No, that's the collector.
I want it for the Metal Gear collection.
Yep.
I want these games because I want to play them. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This was released with Assassin's Creed 3.
Yes.
And this is like a pre-story featuring the first female protagonist. And this is now, I think, since been ported over. You can play this on the PS4 or maybe PS3. I can't remember. But so, like, this game is available for other platforms if you want it. But this is awesome Assassin's Creed console quality.
It's a good one.
And so, and it fits right in there with the timeline era of, you know, Black Flag, and then you have Rogue, and then you have this, and then you have Assassin's Creed 3.
Right.
So there's like a list of 4 games that are set within like that same century.
Right.
That are all a part of the cycle of that story. So
right.
Really cool. These next 2 are ones I've wanted for a while. I've heard so much about them, and I wanted to get them.
Were they that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. But I wanted them.
The bottom one I understand. Yeah. This one.
So, Trigger Happy Havoc, the first Danganronpa. What these games are, because I also have Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. These games are really Japanese heavy.
Yes.
But they're like murder mystery type things.
Right.
And they take place, and you have to go solve these mysteries. You have to solve these murders, but you're also in a time crunch.
Right.
You actually you're almost called out, where you have to make a decision now, and try to piece together
what you've collected up to this point.
Yeah. Yep. And try to figure out the culprit. So, I have not played these. Heard so much about them. The third one's coming out on PS4.
Yes.
And they actually now have, you can buy it at GameStop, the remastered 1 and 2 from the Vita on PS4. The reason why the third one's coming to PS4, the system's almost dead.
I mean, how many people own PS4s?
Over 60 million.
Yeah.
So, and also used, these were $25 a piece.
Yeah, that hurts.
It did, and one of the reasons why I did pull the trigger on Liberation Assassin's Creed 3 was it's finally around $10. It was $12.
Yeah.
So now what we're gonna do is earlier we logged into the network here and on the store, and I'm gonna go through, not all of them because there's too many. Because guess how they list them? The classics for PS Vita, PS3, PSP, and the minis.
The minis.
Tetris. They have minis for the PS3 and the PSP.
Yeah. I was like,
where they were like smaller games, like almost like mobile games. So
I'm gonna pull this up myself. So continue.
We're in the A's, and I'm just gonna scroll until I see something. You have Ape Escape, which is the Ape Escape on the Loose for PSP, available on the Vita store. You have the Ark the Lad series. You have Ark the Lad 1, 2, and 3, and Ark Arena. Those are all PS1 classics. You have.
Did you have to do an update?
No.
That says how long it's been since I turned mine on.
Oh, you have Armored Core, PS1 classic.
Ooh, how much?
$6. You have Armored Core Last Raven portable, Armored Core 3 portable, Armored Core Silent Lion portable, Army of 2. Okay, so the first one, PS1 classic, but the rest of them are all PSP games. And then Army of 2, the 40th Day, is a PSP game.
Right.
So let's go on to the B's. What we got here? As I scroll, a lot of PSP games. The Blaze Blue series, Bomberman 94. It looks like to be a remake of sorts.
Bomberman Land.
Bomberman Land PSP game. Bomberman Legacy PSP game. Breath of Fire 3, which that
has no price.
Has no price. And oh, there it is. It's $10, and that is the. What are you? Are you a PS1 Classic? Because it doesn't really say that.
Does it?
Because Breath of Fire 4 says it's a PS1 Classic. That is, and that one is $6. So I don't know about Breath of Fire 3. Maybe that's the PSP. I think that's the PSP remake.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with
Breath
that.
of Fire 3 had a PSP remake of the original. That was on PS1. We're on C. And what we're going to look at, and we're looking at Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a PS1 classic. Castlevania the Dracula X Chronicles PSP game, awesome game, which is a remake of Rondo of Blood. And once you beat Rondo of Blood, you get Symphony of the Night.
I wonder if that happens on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's $15.
Yes.
Because it's 2 games in one.
Essentially, but then it's a PSP game too.
Right.
Which not all PSP games are created equal. Because here's Chameleon. I never heard of it. It's $4.
And just so you guys understand, I wouldn't go out and buy any of these today. Wait for the flash sales.
Oh, of course.
Because
absolutely.
some of these games you're seeing for $14.99, they'll be down as you stated before, $4 or $5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I got Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 for less than $5 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a total that time of I think $20.
You have Class of Heroes 1 and 2, which is like an RPG series. Those are PSP games.
Right.
Well, is the second one a PSP game as well? I don't know. It doesn't say that. It's a little bit more expensive. It might be just a Vita game. Again, this is like classics for such, so it
Can't be a Vita game.
They're all mixed together, and I wish I could like just filter them.
Yes.
But the PSP game, the first one's $15, the second one's $25. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the PSP game, is $30.
Wow.
You can't explain that.
No.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain it. The Con, which is a PSP game, I think it was a launch game for the PSP. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a little bit later. $8 for that. That was like a fighting game. We're on to D. We have Daxter, of course. You have Deadhead Fred, Darkstalkers Chronicles. Those are all PSP games. PS1 Classic, Dead in the Water. So many games. Disney's What is up with all the Disney's PS1 Classics that came out? Because you have Hercules, Lilo and Stitch, Peter Pan, Emperor's New Groove, Little Mermaid 2. Of course, you have the Dissidia games.
Yes.
1 and 2, Dissidia and Dissidia Duodecim. Those are $15 a piece, including the Prologus is on there as well, downloadable.
Personally, me, I would pay less and buy them hard copy.
Hard copy, yeah.
I believe
because they're
mine
less
was
than that.
$7.99.
You have the Dynasty Warriors. You have the original Dynasty Warriors Portable, PSP, Strike Force, and Volume 2. Those are all PSP games as well. You have Dungeon Maker, which is a PSP game. What I imagine as some sort of RPG Maker type game. Now we're going to go to
E/F. Yeah.
What is up here? I don't like how they don't list, like, because you have some that's a PSP game and PS1 Classic, like Extreme Pinball for Classic.
Right.
Fight Night Round 3 PSP game. Fighting Fantasy Talisman of Death. Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lion PSP game.
Final Fantasy 3.
Final Fantasy 3, which is a PSP game. That is a port of the DS version. Those are $10 a piece. Final Fantasy 4, the complete version, is $15. You get Final Fantasy 4 and you get the after years. And then we're at Final Fantasy 7 PS1 Classic for $10.
Okay, so stopping there, I am able to play 8 and 9 on there, but it doesn't list 8 or 9.
I know, it's weird. It is really weird. Wait, because now we're going back into the D's. Yeah, do you see this?
Yeah, I see that.
We're scrolling into the D's. I don't understand this. This is crazy. We have Gex 3 PS1 Classics.
Those are good ones.
The two God of War PSP games.
Chains of Olympus.
The Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, and Chinatown Wars. Grandia, PS1 Classic.
Grandia is a good game.
Half Minute Hero. I've been looking for that game. PSP game.
Yes.
It's like this cool old school like RPG, but the countdown is like every you have 30 seconds to get into a battle and kill more enemies.
Right.
Because if you don't, then you die. The whole world dies. You have 30 seconds until the world dies. Until you have to keep refilling your time meter. Harvest Moon, Boy and Girl, and Hero of Leaf Valley. There's PSP games. So many Hot Shots Golf. So many different.
Yeah.
There are PSP games here.
All right. So now with the I's, I through L. So the first substantial entry is Jak and Daxter. The Lost Frontier.
Oh, and Jeanne d'Arc, that is a strategy RPG. I bought that recently for the PSP.
Justice League Heroes.
You got that on PS2, didn't you?
Yeah, it says a PSP game.
Killzone Liberation, which is not a first-person shooter. It's like a kind of this quasi little like.
Oh my god.
Like isometric.
Oh my god. Legend of the Dragoon. $6.
Oh.
Is that on flash sale?
No, that's it. It'll stay if it's on sale.
I wonder if I can.
Lego Batman, Lego Harry Potter's, Lego Pirates, Little Big Planet PSP, Loco Rocos, Lunar Silver Star Harmony.
Transfer from the system. So I'm assuming if the PSP can transfer to save, the Vita can transfer to save.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, that might get bought. Little Big Planet, PSP.
Mega Man Legends. I'm onto the M's now. 1 and 2 for the PS1 Classic. Mega Man X4, X5, Mega Man 8.
Oh,
Those
shit.
are all PS1 Classics.
X5, X4, Maverick Hunter.
Maverick Hunter is their remake of Mega Man X.
Yep.
You have Metal Gear Solid VR missions.
Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
PSP game. Portable Ops Plus. Then it goes on to the Metal Slug, Midnight Club, which is a...
Monster Hunter, Freedom United.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's $20 though.
Yeah,
the Myst series, if you're into the Myst series, those are decent games actually. Namco Museum Volume 1,
yeah,
2,
all those arcade
3,
games.
4, 5. Need for Speed Carbon.
Yep.
Oddworld. Yeah, there's a good one. Abe's Odyssey, Abe Box, and Abe's Exodus.
What is Abe Box? Abe Box for $10. What are you? I just clicked on it.
I did too. Oh, you got information. I didn't get any information.
Hey, you remember that quirky demo that came with your original PlayStation? Something about an alien escaping a factory? Did you ever get a chance to finish that tough as nail game or its sequel? Now's your chance to play Oddworld Abe's Odyssey and continue the story in Abe's Exodus.
Huh. So
the bundle. Oh, this is a bundle. It includes Abe's Odyssey, and Abe's Exodus, and for $10, and then or you can buy them individually for $6 a piece. So
Abe Box is
1 and 2.
1 and 2,
and it saves you $2.
Right. So I've moved on to the P and S's because there's not a whole lot left.
One Misadventures of Trombone.
Yes.
That is $6.
That's $6 on there, and for a hard copy, I believe it's $130 now.
It might be. The Misadventures. I can't type. Worth a crap, and it is getting on my nerves lately. Let me try this again.
Try it again. There it is.
Complete.
Ooh.
201.
That's complete.
Or you could buy it loose for 68, disc
Right.
only. Or you could get it on the Vita or PSP or PS3 for $6.
Right. So moving to the P's, P through S.
I didn't see Klonoa on here.
I didn't either.
That's weird.
Papa Rappa the Rapper.
Parappa.
Yeah, Parappa.
Papa Rappa.
I want to pay
that.
Papa Rappa. That's what we used to call them, Papa Rappa.
Patapon 1 through 3.
Persona 2.
Persona 2, Eternal Punishment. That's the PS1 Classic. There's also supposedly... There's supposed to be another Persona game in here.
There's Prince of Persia, Rival Swords, Revelations, and The Forgotten Sands.
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Those are PS1 classics.
Yeah.
Persona 3 Portable. Persona 2, the other half of the story, was the other PSP game. And also the original Persona. Those are $20 a piece on here. However, flash sale, guys. Flash sale. I got Persona 3 Portable for $5. Bunch of SOCOM games, bunch of games there.
Okay, so we're gonna stop. Look at this: Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Star Wars Battlefront 2,
Battlefront Renegade,
and
what is
then
it? Renegade what? Renegade Squadron, and then The Force Unleashed.
Right.
Street Fighter Alpha 3, Strider 2, PS1 Classic.
I was down to the Red Star. I'm on T's.
Same.
Tekken 6. PSP version.
Ghost Recon games, Rainbow Six Vegas, Tomb Raider.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Tomba and Tomba 2.
Yeah, Tombas. Those are great games.
Jammer Lammy, sequel to Parappa the Rapper.
Valhalla Knights.
Valkyria Chronicles 2, which is a PSP game, and the only place where you can play the sequel. That's about Valkyria Chronicles 1. It was on the PS3. It just came out with a remastered on PS4.
Going to W through Z.
Go for it. Going to numbers 0 through 1. I don't know. So
who's that flying?
who's that flying?
I want to see what it is. It's got 4.64 stars.
Hey, I just got to update. You're online.
I bet my update is you're online.
All right, so here are the games I have saved on my system. I have some.
Okay, so before Ease 1 and 2 Chronicles, $15. Ease 7, $15. Ease the Oath in Filgana.
15. So yeah,
they're right there.
Yep. If you want to play them.
Saved
on my console, I have 2 PSP games. I have Chinatown Wars, Grand Theft Auto. I bought that when I had the PSP Go.
Yes.
And then I also have my Persona 3 Portable that I bought. And then let's look at my PS1 collection. I put a lot on here. Nice picture. You have a new message.
Wonder what it is. Oh.
Hey.
Spammer. Hey.
All right, so I had Breath of Fire 4, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, Klonoa, Door to Phantomile, Legend of Dragoon, Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4, Mega Man X5.
That Legend of Dragoon is probably going to get bought today.
Resident Evil 2, Wild Arms, and Wild Arms 2.
Nice.
Is what I have saved on the console. On my memory card, I should say. So
I have a feeling that when this closes shop,
which is
if I have enough space.
Well, what's interesting is that, like as you said, in that list, some of those games are not even.
And I have them here, and I can boot it up right now. Let's pull up 8, just to prove.
And I don't know why that is.
Look what this says. I just pulled up 8. When operating the PSP system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a PlayStation original.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still games coming out for this. Still, there's a lot of cool indie titles that came out for this. I'm seeing if there are any sort of sales going on right now.
There it goes. I was sitting here and it black screened on me, and I was like,
Does it not work anymore? Do they do something?
Did they patch it?
They better not have. That would have been awful. Would have been terrible.
Yep, here it is. There's opening scenes.
Yep. Mauricia.
You
can also get PlayStation Now on here and play PS3.
Yeah.
And now PS4 games streamed over if
So
that's what you want to do.
one of the things that I play a lot on here is Don't Starve.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Starve is a great game. It is a lot of fun. I enjoy it greatly.
So, what should you get? As far as Vita, because the most readily available one right now is the 2000. That's you can go get it, still get it new.
For like 150, 160.
Yeah, and I want to say used the Vitas are about 100, between
20.
100 and 120.
Yeah.
The PlayStation TV, where you can play most, not all. I want to say you can get these for about $30 now.
Here's the thing, and what you're looking for. Are you looking to play? If you're wanting to have a box, if you're a digital person,
Mm-hmm.
we're not digital people.
No,
but
obviously.
some of these we own physical copies, but we play it on our if we're home, we play it on our PS3 because you can still play PS1 games on the 3. Also, having them on the Vita downloaded, you have the ability to pass your saves back and forth. So, for us being collectors, we want physical copies, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to play my physical copy if I don't have to.
Yeah, sure.
So, if I bought Legend of the Dragoon, I would pull that out of my PS3 right now, because that's where it is, put it in its case, and it would never come back out. It's something I wanted to own physical. But if you are looking to do digital PS1 games, or you have a ton of PS1 classic games,
They're coming to PS4 too, so
you'll be able to play them on your PS4. Or if you want something like this, if this is mobile, like you're going to meet the in-laws or something, and you don't want to spend $130 on a Vita, which is understandable. We understand that because we're budget gamers.
Mm-hmm.
You can go out and get this TV for $30-$40, and you can download all the games you want on this.
PSP games, you can download. Even you can take most of your video games with you and play it. Especially,
That's right.
Especially if they're just RPGs. As I said, I played Persona 4 on this.
If as long as it doesn't have a lot of touch base.
Yeah.
For the budget gamer in me, what I would do is if I didn't care too much for the touch, and I wasn't a mobile person, that would be the option I would choose, because you would have the ability to play your Vita games. But if you're a classics player, just load it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
If you want to spend the money for the card.
You can also apparently hack these. Be careful though, because Sony's still supporting this. They're still issuing updates, so there's a chance you could get blocked.
You can get bricked.
Yeah, or not just bricked, but banned. You can get banned from
The PlayStation Network.
Yes.
So, on a note, if you plan on hacking it, do not use your current PlayStation ID.
As I said, you can use your DualShock 3 or your DualShock 4 with this to sit there and just. How you use a touch is that I want to say you click in the left stick for the rear and bring up a little indicator, and the right stick for the front. It could either one of those.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one, but it's a great way to play some Vita games on there.
So, one of the things, and I know that we've talked about this, to add to this has the potential to be one of the best handhelds.
It had the
date.
potential.
It had the potential. The problem is that people didn't want to buy them because they weren't like the PSP. And that hurt it so much that Sony decided to not support the Americans.
Here's the thing, though.
And it
it's
really
not just
hurt
Sony. Sony actually supports this more than they need to, and really now it's obviously they're not supporting it that much. They were supporting it back when they first came out.
Right.
They didn't market it right, and then the second thing, since it didn't market it right and it didn't fly off the shelves, it's that whole third party thing we talked about earlier. Why are they going to invest money into something that isn't selling, unless it's for your niche audience? Which is why a lot of these companies still put out the RPGs, because the niche audience for that, and they know their people will buy it for that.
Also note, the PSP, to me, is one of the best handhelds of all time.
I agree.
For the sure fact of what it was capable of. But if you know two or three things about that system can be everything in one. If you know what you're doing. Because we support you to game however you want. We're not saying go out and buy one of these and hack it, but you can hack it, and there's a way now with dual cards that you can get over 200 gigs. And I don't know about you, but I think about 200 gigs would cover 70% of PS1 air.
That would probably more than do it.
But you can also mod these. Do like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance. There's a possibility, but if you're capable of doing that, that would be my choice.
So you can also remote play, like I said, from your PS4 to your Vita, right? Just like I said, you can do it to your TV. But some games even have a custom control scheme for remote play. One of those games is Fallout 4.
I haven't tried that yet.
We should at some point just see what it's like, because I bought it Fallout 4 for Xbox because that's where I played all my other Fallouts. So I didn't play it. I didn't buy it for PlayStation, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I get better mods. But
yeah, I love my PlayStation, and really for the VR, we're still gonna get the VR for Skyrim VR and Fallout VR. Mm-hmm. Eventually, once the PC's built and I get the specific stuff that I need, first off, we're gonna get support for the podcast, make it a little easier for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I'm going to start picking up like Skyrim Legendary Edition, because once you buy that, the modding community on PC is so vast that it's almost endless. Like you could never stop playing new stuff from Skyrim, as long as you were careful about how you got your downloads.
Yep. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for us today. Please go out and buy Vitas if you want an awesome handheld.
Yes.
With an seemingly endless list of games. That PlayStation Blog oftentimes puts up their flash sales, so that's where you can get updates for when the flash sales.
Yeah, follow PlayStation.
Follow PlayStation Blog, and you'll I look every time, even if I can't buy stuff, because I'm like, I gotta know.
I got a question though.
That's
me.
No, it's not. It's me.
Oh, okay.
I got emails.
So do you think that when they do start supporting the PS1 Classics on the PlayStation 4,
yeah,
do you think that they'll just go ahead and incorporate that into the Vita? Because
you mean as far as like save transfers?
No, just because there's only from my understanding, you can play if you bought any PS1 game, it'll play on the Vita.
Not Metal Gear Solid.
Not all of them. But
however, Metal Gear Solid does work over in Europe, but not in America. Don't know why.
But from my understanding, the majority of the games will play on the PS1, on the Vita. Correct?
You mean? Okay, so
I could download it on my PS3 and then upload it to my Vita.
I think you can do it that way. I think there's a workaround. Yeah.
I think that's the workaround.
For Metal Gear Solid, I think I've heard that's what you have to transfer that over.
Uh-huh.
You can't download it onto here, but you can. And I want to say there was something within the Metal Gear Solid file that made it a security risk, but they never fixed it. They never bothered to fix it, because what I hate about it is that you can get Metal Gear Solid, you can get VR missions and Peace Walker. And then also, they released a UMD. I almost said UMD.
Whoa.
You can get a physical copy that has 2 Sons of Liberty and Snake Eater.
Yes, you can.
Which I haven't bought because I don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
I might one day if it's cheap, but I also have Snake Eater 3D on the 3DS, and I have my PS3 copy of that collection.
Right.
So, the PS3 copy of that collection, the Vita version. Like, that is that.
Right.
The reason why they didn't release it with Peace Walker, because Peace Walker's a PSP game and it's already on there.
Right.
So it's a conflict. Okay, I know, we're wrapping up.
That might actually be because
the mail lady.
Yeah, because I haven't heard Joanna open the door yet.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna hurry up and get out of here then.
Yes.
So if you guys want to buy a Vita, by all means, now is the time to do so. So many games, and thank you guys for checking out this episode. That's one of them. Is that your recommendation?
My recommendation: Resident Evil Nemesis 3.
Golden Abyss is mine. Easy.
Both fantastic games.
I can't recommend these. I haven't played them yet.
Correct.
So check us out on all of our social media: Facebook, on Twitter, Game Addicts Play. I think or Game Addicts Podcast, Game Addicts Play. Well, because Twitter has Game Addicts Play because of the space limit, and I think Game Addicts Podcast is what it is on YouTube. Or on YouTube, and then also on Facebook. Check us out there on YouTube. You can see us. We actually have the stuff in front of us. So if you're saying that you guys need to do video, we do, and it's linked in every episode. I actually have it down in the description.
And the doobly do.
Do us here. Y'all subscribe here, because you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play Music. Wherever you want to digest your podcast, you can find us there. So if that is all, my friends, Mike, thanks for joining me again.
Always.
And we're going to have to find something to talk about next week.
Yes, hopefully we get a wave of news. That would be nice.
I thought about doing like what's coming up for the fall, like release stuff, and we'll talk about what we
start dissecting some of those videos and premiere videos. And
well, I thought about like, okay, what's coming out, and like because August is coming up, and they start to trickle out near the end of August, September, October, November, December. Like, what's coming out for sure, and what is on the pipeline for us to actually like, what do we want?
All of them.
I would like to get all of them, but I can't afford them.
I'm gonna try. My problem is it's time to play.
Yeah, same here. That being said, thank you guys. Until next time, I'm Brando.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see you.